芝生に寝転がると大地の鼓動が聞こえてきます。仕事がまだ終わってません。休んでいいのでしょうか。
Oh, I was muted. Hey, what's up, Toast? How you doing, man? Finally, an entire event focused on... What? Thank goodness I was reading a little bit ahead before that came out of my mouth. Oh boy. RJ, how are you doing? I'm alright, man. You know, could be better if the weather was only a few degrees lower. And maybe, I don't know, like 10-15% a little bit lower humidity would be much better. But hey, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm not dying, so we're good. Just so bored? Bored like IRL bored? Or like bored because like I want to play Genshin and there's nothing to do? Hey, you know, like in Spartan's words, the event could be interesting. At least the way Spartan worded it, the event sounds interesting. Am I wrong? Hey, you know, never said you were wrong, right? That's why I referred to your words. Because you're the one that's, you know, saying it correctly. In the best way possible. Oops. Can I thank you? I can cook bacon under the sun. It like, right? It's so hot. I don't get it. Well, the thing is, I guess, you know, I'm not surprised that it's so hot, you know, because that's just how the weather works, right? Like, after a long time that it's, well, here in the Philippines, there's never really cold. After a long time of being not hot, you gotta expect it's going to be really hot for quite some time. Yeah, so it's just you know, I don't think people think about this enough. Yeah, like people are just most people just think about it in like a very shallow, short-term way, but people don't think about this. So obviously nowadays we're getting longer, hotter and longer hot days, right? And of course, like I said, that's just how the weather works. After a long time of it being hot, it's gonna be a long time of being, well, the opposite of hot. You know, whether that be cold or just not hot, depending on which region of the world you're in. But it's a very good example of extreme weather. Extreme weather, which is very often depicted in sci-fi movies. Right, and extreme cold makes many northern and high altitude locations on Earth less habitable until it gets to the point where they're completely uninhabitable. And then even the you know, the the most habitable parts of the world, like coastlines, flatlands, right? Like very farmable land. At some point, that's not going to. It's going to be affected. It's going to become less habitable, not because of cold, but because of extreme heat. Right? Extreme heat means the ground will be a lot drier, which means it'll be less farmable, which means less potential space to farm, less food overall for the world. Drier land also means more sand, more dust, which means, again, with extreme weather, dust storms that are a lot worse than they've ever been before. And on top of dust storms, what comes after dust storms? A lot of lung diseases, right? And on top of that, we're starving because there's less food overall. Been trying to do a nuke showcase with Diluc Plunge in Scara. In Scara? Oh, the Scara boss. Okay. Trying to trigger Gravestone, level 60. Give me a head cancer. Well, that's... What is that? Less than 50%, right? That's pretty hard, man. That's really hard. Especially because the other buffs don't last very long, right? Because you have to... So VV is what? 8 seconds? Right? VV is 8 seconds. Bennett Burst is, you know, a little longer. Bennett Burst, Noblesse buff, fine. Genuine's Burst, fine. But like the VV is your most difficult one there because you gotta proc it pretty early on in your rotation because it's gonna be very hard to get Pyro back on the enemy in the first place once you start putting Hydro on it. Especially if your Hydro is Furina, because if you're trying to maximize Diluc's damage, you're likely gonna have Furina in there. And with Furina, you can't control when your Hydro is going to apply. It's really hard. RJ calling it, end of the world is coming. Hey, you know, the moment humanity, the moment humanity entered the industrial age and had no idea of the effects of it. We entered the industrial age. We gained a lot of convenience thanks to the industrial age, where we were able to start mass producing, taking ore out of the ground. Basically, like exactly what cancer does. Exactly what cancer cells does. You can, you might as well say humans are cancer cells and the earth is a body. While the earth is not biological, so it doesn't feel anything. Right? But hey, it's basically the same thing. Right? Like we're like how would you call it? A parasite. Right? A parasite needs a host to survive. Just like the humans need a planet to survive. A planet that is like the perfect planet. The right size, the right mass, the right distance from its star, from its heat source. Right? And the only one that we know of is like the only one that we're living on, and all the other ones that we think might be a similar example are what, like hundreds or thousands of, or maybe even millions of light years away. So even if we found a way to travel at the speed of light, it'll still take us a couple million years to get there. And we haven't even invented cryo what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Cryogenic sleep yet. So yes, humanity is like, the end of the world. No, the Earth's gonna be fine. Right? The Earth's gonna be fine. It's like the Earth is going to be fine. It's going to be healthier once the virus is gone. What virus is that? Humanity. I just suddenly remembered. RJ rants, humans are evil. I mean, we are, really. We literally kill each other for money, for power. That's exactly what we are. right? So you know, like they try to make humans seem good, and sure, yes, humans do have the potential for good, but we also have the potential for evil. Where have you seen an animal kill another animal because it was enjoying itself? Right? Like, in what other living creature have you ever seen that capability? You've never seen, yeah, where have you seen a serial murderer among what? Lions? Cats? Condensed resin? Yeah, I know. I gotta use it for weekly bosses. That's why I haven't used it yet. Ice Age soon? I don't know about an Ice Age, but extreme weather is very much already here. It's already beginning, and we might not be well. A lot of us are complaining about it, but more like, oh man, it's so hot. Oh no, why is it so cold? It's colder than last year, but then we're not doing anything about it because it's it doesn't affect us yet, right? It doesn't affect the end result of our jobs, right? It doesn't kill our the people in our towns and cities. I gotta say, Paimon is so much less annoying in Japanese. Most difficult, Ziona, triggering elegy. Oh my god, that's because oh mate. You gotta wait for her burst to tick correct, at least correctly too, not just tick but tick correctly. Wait, I don't remember, how does elegy proc again? I don't remember. Elegy, where did I put elegy? Man, I don't remember who has elegy. Not Yelon official. Oh, hang on. So I think it's a skill or burst. Willingness bonus, hit opponents, the character. Okay, so yeah, hit opponents. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying on Diona because maybe you hold your skill and then you hold your burst. Sure. Why did that only hit once? Haha. Hit you in the back. Oops. I did not hold that. Hey, Subsobranics. Well, to answer that in Filipino, that would be okay lang ako. Which is, I'm okay. I'm just okay. I don't know why in Filipino we always add just. We always add lang. Lang means just. In more casual speech, it would just be okay lang. We wouldn't need to add me. 42k flower. Cats? What do you mean? Orcas kill for fun. Cats and house cats just go crazy for rats. Be frank, but your point is valid. Okay. Yeah, I guess I get that. Yeah, yeah. I have seen orcas, and like, when I first saw orcas, I remember when I was a kid, I thought like I saw orcas, wow, they look cute, etc. Right? And then I've always thought orcas were adorable. And then like I got older, and then I saw this documentary about them and realized No wonder they're called killer whales. Cats though, jeez. Cats are sort of like, if they were a person, not all of them obviously, some of them are very nice. But if the terrible ones were a person, then they would be a menace to society. How are you, bro? I'm alright, man. Could be better if the weather was a little nicer. Started playing in Japanese by now after so many tries, hours of continuous trying, realized how to speedrun scare. Hey, that's nice, right? Like, isn't that the goal? Right, to learn how to do it, and then once you know how to do it, to learn how to do it better. Either do it better, or oh, she's dead. Yep, I saw that coming too. I have actually started playing in Japanese. Just last night, I finally decided to download Japanese. I don't know, I just... Sometimes, the main reason why I have English most of the time is for like art conquests and yeah, because they're voiced, right? Art conquests, and like even the art conquests I kind of skip, but every now and then I will just have the urge to like listen to what's going on. So and you know, obviously in the middle of dialogue you can't switch languages, so I also like, for whenever those moments come up, I don't want to have to read every single dialogue. I want to see the visuals while I'm experiencing the story. But I ultimately like listening to Japanese audio a lot more. Plus, added bonus, Paimon's a lot less annoying in Japanese. Hit my SP. No, it's alright, man. It's probably just me reading your message pretty late. Either that or you might be watching a little bit late. Right, like check if it's like the red thing, the playback thing is like to the rightmost, because for some reason when I watch a stream on YouTube, like a live stream, for some reason when I open it, it sometimes will not be like live. It's, you know, and this is, I think this really only works on YouTube because they have this feature called DVR mode, where even while watching live, you can go back as if it's just a normal video. And I don't think any other big streaming platform does that. I know Twitch doesn't have that. So honestly, I think by far YouTube is a much better streaming platform than Twitch. It's just that Twitch has been able to set up this like gamified, like all their like gamification features. They've managed to turn watching a streamer into some kind of game with all their different features and stuff. And I'm not saying Twitch is a bad platform, I'm just saying YouTube has a lot more features that I think, you know, they certainly cost a lot more, right? Like the fact that VODs are permanent, they don't get deleted in 3 days. That's a lot more expensive. Because imagine, somebody like me, for example, I stream like what? Anywhere from 2 to 5 hours at a time. And imagine YouTube just saving that on their servers, a 2 to 5 hour stream every single time. And streams, I think, I'm pretty sure streams have very little, I don't know, like much fewer places to put ads on. What is up with this dude? He just won't give me the attack pattern that gives me a DPS window. Japanese voice are far superior. Lol. RJ, hey, what's up, Abby? Not going to school today since bad headache and I feel weak. Isn't it a holiday? You're in the Philippines, right, Abby? Wait, no, I don't think that's right. This music sounds really cool, by the way. It kind of seems like it would be music that you would hear in Honkai Impact, right? Like it doesn't fit the Genshin Impact vibe, I gotta say. Or if not Honkai Impact, then it seems like it would fit ZZZ a lot more, because ZZZ seems a lot more like cyberpunky. Or the European. Hey, close enough, right? Where is it? Like just a little bit less than half, you know, halfway across the world, just a little bit less. So, you know, close enough. I cannot, sadly, do my DJing streams on YouTube because strict rules on copyright. Yeah, that's the thing about YouTube. But then, like, I also can't blame them because remember, YouTube is like, they're like the biggest player in this space, right? So that means they also have the most eyes on them, and not just from viewers and creators, but also regulators, right? And on top, you know, other than regulators, also the people that own said quote-unquote copyrighted content. So yeah, I can't blame YouTube for just trying to make sure they have, like, they're not even trying to please everyone, they're just trying to I guess I should put it as they're trying to get into the least amount of trouble that they can. Yeah, for businesses at the scale of YouTube, it's just so hard to make something good that pleases most people. That makes everyone happy and makes everyone feel like, wow, this is good service. Yeah, like businesses at the scale of YouTube are most of the time just trying to, okay, is it still working? Good. Okay, how much trouble are we in for doing this, that? Okay, which trouble is bigger? Okay, address that first. Been handling so much stress lately, it's tiring. Well, such is life, Abby. At the very least, you are able to do something about it. Right? At the very least, you are able to do something about it. So that counts for something. There are a lot of people out there who, unfortunately, cannot do anything about whatever their problems are. So they're stressed out at trying to solve their problems, but they're also stressed out at realizing that they cannot solve their problems. So, you know, everybody has their own problems. And I'm not trying to downplay your problems. I'm just trying to make you feel better that it's not the end of the world. Because when you're young, everything seems like it's the end of the world. Especially when it comes to relationships. I know your problems are not related to relationships, but, you know, when you're young, everything seems like it's the end of the world. Everything seems like a doomsday. And when you get older, you realize, not all of them, but some of them, you start thinking back. You think about, why was I fretting so much about this, right? I like now I'm, you know, I'm a grown man. Obviously, I'm not very old, but I'm also not very young anymore. And I struggled to, I guess, fit into somewhere, right? Like when you're young, especially in high school, right? When in your adolescent years, most people want acceptance somewhere. They don't have to be accepted everywhere, but if they get accepted somewhere, that's good. And even though they are accepted somewhere, if they get the opposite of being accepted in somewhere else, it's like the end of the world, right? It's a very different time in life. And me as a grown man now, I think back to the times where I was always fretting about, I was always concerned about like, hey, is my hair as good as it can look? Hey, oh no, I got a zit right on my forehead. Oh no, my fly was down. What else? Oh no, I slipped. I looked like an idiot. And that was embarrassing. I'll never be able to show my face in school again. And then here I am. Well, did that affect my future? No. Okay, we're fine. Right? Doesn't even matter. The things that affect your income, the things that affect your career, those are the things that matter. You have ticks? Sorry, ticks? What kind of ticks? You were the overthinking type. I'm the same. Yeah, exactly. And I still am. I mean, obviously, you can... You, you come on stream. You literally told me, RJ the overthinker, like a couple of streams ago. And yes, I very much am the overthinking type. And sometimes, yes, it is nice to overthink, like me right now, right? Like I've been rambling about how we are not doing anything about the big problems, such as extreme weather, because of, you know, what we've been doing, what humans have been doing. And I'm not even talking about like burning trash. I'm not even talking about like the straight up harmful stuff to the ozone layer, to the atmosphere, or whatever, right? To like, you know, I'm talking about like the everyday things that we do. Like, okay, here's an example. It's raining. So instead of taking the train to work or taking a bike to work and just wearing a raincoat, you take the car. Even though work is like a 3-minute drive. Now that 3-minute drive, while inconsequential compared to everybody else, when it comes to how much you're producing, how much CO2 you're producing, you still added more CO2. You plus the other, what, like 2 billion people on Earth that are driving cars because it's rainy, instead of, you know, instead of just sucking up the rain. Right? So it's like, it's not even like the big stuff. Just because you're doing bad, like little harmful, you know, a little harmful thing doesn't mean it's not harmful. So yes, it is perspective, but it's also just about yes or no. Are you doing something harmful to the environment? Yes. Right? There's no how little or how big. What are we talking about? CO2? We were talking about well, yeah, I was rambling a little bit about extreme weather and how humans are stupid. And then here, Abby's stress. I was talking about stress and, you know, trying to make her feel better, trying to tell her that you have a much better life than you think you do. And wait, how did I go back to CO2 again? Yeah, overthinking, yeah. So overthinking. I was about to, so my point there was used to overthink about that, but then like because those are things that affect me, I think about them. But then like they're things that I can't really do anything about except play my part, my small little insignificant part, and trying to, you know, help out. I know it's not amounting to hardly anything, if it even is amounting to anything, but that's all I can do. And because it does affect me, because like I'm 31 years old now, 31 years old. So if if I don't have a super long life, I'll maybe live to 65 or 70 maybe. Hey, if I live a very long life, hey, maybe I might even get to 80 or 85, which means, and remember, so the weather that I'm talking about, I experienced it 25 years ago. I still remember it 25 years ago, and it wasn't this bad. It was bad, but it felt normal to me. But then like what I'm feeling now is not normal. This is very different, and that was 25 years ago. 25 years of change. What happens when I get to 65, which is another 30 years from now? Right? Like it will affect me, and not just me, but my next of kin. So I'm thinking about it because it does affect me, and it also affects my next of kin, my descendants. But I don't think about it too much to the point that it stresses me out, because I know there's little to nothing I can do about it. And okay, here's another one. The other day, I slipped outside, like in public, in front of like 24 people. Slipped, fell on my face. Thankfully, I didn't actually literally fall on my face. Caught myself with my arms, but hey, slipped. And I was I slipped, and I just kept moving. I was like, am I fine? Did I break anything? Did I get any wounds? Like all I thought about was, okay, if I scratched my skin anywhere, then that's a potential for infection. I checked myself. Okay, nothing, no scratches. All right, we're good. Keep walking. Right, like anyone else looking at me doesn't affect where I'm going to. It doesn't change when I go to like the supermarket. It doesn't change that I'm supposed to go to the supermarket or not go. It doesn't change what I'm supposed to buy over there. It doesn't change the fact that I hardly have enough money to buy groceries now because inflation. I get why people do that. If work or school is far away, the rain is horrible. That's understandable. But if it's close to you, then what are you doing? I know, but people do that. And that's why I always say people are stupid. Just like the Genshin content creators and their drama. Thankfully, it's all over now. But boy, did they milk the heck out of that drama. Did they milk that drama for all it's worth? For quote-unquote the content. What am I doing? I still have other accounts to take care of. Okay, be right back. Oh no, why am I not switching? Oh, because my num lock is off. You know, I don't... Well, maybe it's not that I don't get, but like... I feel like a lot of Western content creators, whether big or small, they seem to spend so much more than they actually need to. Like, for example, they spend money on, so nothing against Elgato, they make good products, right? But like an Elgato, like, what is that? Like the extra piece of hardware that has like hotkeys on it. I forgot what it's called. Tectone. Hey, I mean, like Tectone, he didn't. I would say Tectone didn't start it. Tectone just did Tectone. Like he was just being himself. However much of a douche he is, he was just being himself, right? You can't do any, like, you can't fix that. You can't tell him, hey, my feelings are hurt because of what you said. I mean, you know the guy's a douche. There's nothing you can do about that. He was just being himself. And it just so happened that he stepped on somebody's foot. Which quest are you playing? Nothing, just daily commissions and weeklies. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know about the Ziox thing. The only thing I knew about was that Tectone said stuff about Envy, like what was it, Mint Picker, stuff like that, and then Envy went on, like, I don't know, he flipped. That's what I know. And then after that, like, everybody else started coming out, started jumping, started jumping onto the drama wagon. Tell me about Hu Tao. I just used her in her story quest. So what are you telling? Like, are you asking about her character, Stella, or about her combat? Like, what do you want me to talk about Hu Tao? Her combat, her builds, her character, what? The overthinking quest. Her combat? Well, she's good. Like, so, okay, when did Hu Tao even come out? She's a very old character, right? Let me see. When Hu Tao release? Yikes. Jeez, okay. No, release, not rerun. Original release. Which version? 1.3. Wow. 1.3, literally the third version update from when Genshin was released, right? So she's like so who was first? So Klee, Venti, so the who else? Tartaglia, Albedo, Ganyu, Zhao, Zhongli, I think, yeah, right? So like like not even the 10th, like before the 10th character, one of the first 10 limited 5-star characters to be ever released in Genshin, and yet she's still very much relevant today. Like, she's still like top tier on field DPS. So Hu Tao E skill. Okay. So a lot of people, so I don't know if you've done your research yet, but a lot of people say, okay, build her with HP, yada yada yada. And that's not because she scales off of HP. Like, so you know what? I'm not gonna give you a fish here. I'm gonna teach you how to fish. Right? So to know how to build a character, especially, like, first you got to figure out what kind of character they are. Are they a damage dealer, or are they just a support? Right, a support that just buffs or debuffs or whatever. Right? In Hu Tao's case, she's a damage dealer. So how you know what stats to put her on to put her on is you figure out her her highest form of damage output, and in Hu Tao's case, that would be her charged attacks. Unless if you have Jian Yun, but we'll talk about that later. So in Hu Tao's case, that would be her charged attack. Now, her charged attack animation without her E skill is just like any other polearm user, right? Nothing special. But when you press her E, it happens so much faster, right? It comes out so much faster. And it's pyro infused. So first thing you look at is, what does it scale off of? So because you just see a number percent, that means it scales off of attack, which means, okay, most people would think, oh, I guess I gotta put attack here. Okay, but why do I have HP? Now, okay, you going to your question. Wow, I triple crowned Hu Tao. When did I do that? I don't remember doing that. So yeah, okay. Going to your question about her E, it really doesn't do any, like, it's very simple actually. When you press it, it takes, how much is it? 30, yeah, there you go. 30% of her HP, of her current HP. So if you have 10k maximum HP and you're at full HP, it'll take off 7k Sorry, it'll take off 3k because that's 30% of 10k, and then after that you'll have 7k left. And then you'll have 7k out of 10k HP. When you activate that again, it'll take off 30% of 7k, which is Q dial-up tone. Oh man, I can't math. 3 times, hang on. 3 times 7, 2100. Yes, 2100. 2100, right? So you had 7k, and then the next time you press E, it'll take off 2100 HP, so you'll be down to 4900 HP. But that's assuming you're not taking any damage from enemies, right? Okay, so that's how it works. That's the cost. Attack increase. So you get, look at my Hu Tao's attack right now. I have 1842, right? But then I still have the okay, we're gone. It's gone. All right, so it's gone. I have 1842 now, and as it says right there, you get 6.26% at talent level 10 HP, sorry, of your max HP as attack. So 6.26% of my max HP. Alright, let's press E. How much did we have again? 1842. Press E. And then I have 4200 attack. And that would be why, despite this scaling off of attack, people build her HP. So basically, you give her a lot of HP so that you can get a lot of attack from using her skill. And that's it. No. Yeah. And so why most of the time when you see footage of people using Hu Tao, you often see them pair her with Xingqiu or Yelan, or sometimes Furina, right? Because or sometimes even cryo characters that apply a lot of cryo. So characters like Kaya, who else? Where's Rosaria? Can't find her. Rosaria, there you go. Rosaria, maybe even Charlotte, right? Maybe even Diona in some cases, right? But realistically, more practically, Hydro characters are a lot more practical. But that's for technical reasons. Which we won't get into. So, and that is to do vaporize damage. Because where is it? There you go. Right, so me, I have 0 elemental mastery right now, but okay, that doesn't really tell us anything. But so when you do an elemental reaction, such as vaporize, which is when an enemy has Hydro on them. Okay, I don't please let me know if I don't need to explain the elemental system to you, so that I don't have to ramble on with something that you already know. I don't understand why Raiden C2 hits only 360k with Chevrolet. Should I really pull Kazuha or Neuvillette? I already have Neuvillette's signature. His artifacts farmed. His boss is pre-farmed. I mean, you already have his weapon, right? Like, his weapon is, maybe not completely useless, but it's hardly usable on other characters. So you might as well go for it, man. If you have the primos, of course. If you don't, then you'd just be wasting your primos. Yeah, so anyway, Stella, please let me know if I don't need to explain the elemental system to you before I get started on rambling about it. So what is this immune to? Animo, okay. Oh, this is a good example, actually. So because this enemy is Hydro, it permanently has Hydro on it because of what it is. I don't need to use Xingqiu and Yelan here because it would be immune to Hydro damage. Their damage would be useless. So I can just, you see that word? Vaporize. 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 Right? And Vaporize at 0 elemental mastery means that your damage is getting multiplied. Whatever damage you're coming up with after all your stats, that is going to get multiplied by another by like it's going to get multiplied by 1.5, and that's how much damage you'll actually be doing after vaporize. Don't need to explain, I guess. All right. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Bagusadis? Bagusadis? What's up, man? If you're asking me if I've eaten, I have. I have actually eaten lunch. It's 2:30 here. I ate lunch about 2 hours ago. Thank you for asking. So, sorry, hang on. Who was that? David. Okay, Raiden C2, 360k, Shivers. You might be lacking a bit on the attack side. Like maybe you're on the catch, maybe you have too much ER and not enough attack. Maybe you're not using Bennett. Like try to look at like do your setup, and then right before you burst, take a look at your stats. Yeah, look at your stats. Like look at how much crit rate you have, crit damage you have, how much attack you have. Now like, and why I'm telling you to do your rotation and stop right before you burst and look at your stats right before you burst, and because that's like how much stats you have right as you're doing that 360k. Because sometimes people go all in on ER on Raiden Shogun, but then they forget about crit damage. Some people go all in on crit damage and then they forget about attack, right? And some people go all in on attack and they forget about ER, right? Like, there's a lot of stats to juggle with Raiden Shogun. That's why you typically like Raiden Shogun is typically not a character that you see a lot of people, you know, like on Ayaka for example or Neuvillette. You see a lot of people having like 50, 300 crit damage, right? 50 crit rate, 300 crit damage. You don't see that on Raiden Shogun because the stats are getting distributed to a lot of different stats, to ER, to attack, to crit rate, to crit damage. And with Neuvillette and Ayaka, typically it's just getting distributed to crit rate and crit damage, and maybe HP too. 3400 R5 catch, Bennett C3, C6 Sarah, Chevrolet C0. Okay, 360k sounds okay. Yeah, that sounds about right for the catch. I think you might be chasing a different standard here. You might be trying to chase after like people with engulfing. Because people with engulfing have a lot more attack. Because, you know, like engulfing changes sorry, not change. It gives you attack based on your ER. 3800 attack, and that's a lot, right? Like 38, like the difference of 400 attack, and then after that like multiply that with like all the other stats like crit damage, elemental reaction, whatever. It's a big difference. Don't even care about attack. This is Bennett. C1 gives 121% attack of his base. Noblesse gives 91% of his base attack. Chevrolet gives 40% attack by res. How much of damage increase? C1 and nuke 680k. C0 R5 catch. So maybe there's something missing. Also, 688k. Maybe that's on the Scaramouche boss, right? Maybe that's on a boss that has that takes extra damage in some of its in its vulnerable phase. Maybe you're fighting, I don't know, a boss with high resistance. Right? There's a lot of stuff to take into account. It is on Scara. Yeah, because like I thought 688k C0. No, doesn't sound right. Right? Like it sounds right like maybe on if you got boosted damage somehow, like artificially like on a boss that takes extra damage in his vulnerable state, but not on a just normal damage. I haven't tested on Scare. That 360k is probably gonna go up to like, I don't know, anywhere from 450 to 550 on Scara. Yeah, because I remember doing some testing. I was just bored. Like I typically don't care to test my damage, but like I was just bored. I wanted to play Genshin, but there was just nothing to do. So I decided to do some damage testing, but it was on the perpetual mechanical array. Because I didn't want to have to bother with the world bosses, or sorry, the weekly bosses, and have to go through their multiple phases. So yeah, I did it on the perpetual mechanical array, and even with food, and this was C0 with engulfing, C0 with the catch, I could hardly hit 400k. Right, and this was a different team. Chevros didn't exist yet. I didn't use Kazuha. Wait, I think I used Kazuha. I think I didn't. No, I didn't use Kujosara. I had because my Kujosara wasn't C6 yet, so I used Bennett, Mona, TTDS, and Kazuha. Right, so you know it's arguable which of those variations of Raiden Hypercarry is better than the other, but there's a lot of them. Most of them are sort of around close-ish to each other. Right, so and yeah, I could hardly hit 400, like maybe 450, but that was with food. If I'm not wrong, PMA is 40 shred. I think that's in its vulnerable state. Yeah, but not like however much extra damage the Raiden Shogun weekly boss and the Scaramouche weekly boss take. I don't know how much they take, how much more they take, but they seem to take so much more. Like, I don't know. I think it's like double, maybe double the normal. I have no idea. But they seem to have so little resistance in their vulnerable state. 140% res rate. Oh my god. That's why. And slightly more than PMA. Scara is just on a different level. Jeez. Yeah, so you know, you don't just look at the numbers. You also have to look at what you're fighting. And this is why I don't like damage testing. Because I start wondering, is that good? How do I know if it's good or not? And then I see other people's damage, and then I'm like, oh, that was bad. And then I feel bad about myself. And then I'll spend a lot of time and put in a lot of effort, and then realize, okay, I guess my Raiden Shogun or my this character I'm not as good as I thought it was. Right? Like I realized that in the end. And then like if I do realize that, wow, I did that exactly the same way he did, and mine is better, and then what do I get? A good feeling. I feel smug. I can't even tell people about it because I don't want to boast. I don't like boasting. So like, what's the point? I just felt satisfied about something, and nobody knows about the achievement. Maybe, I guess I could call it an achievement that I accomplished. Doesn't affect my life in any way. You love nuking Scara, huh? I think you might get along very well with Happy. Happy hasn't played Genshin in a while, but yeah, you will know when Happy is active on Genshin because especially if you're on our Discord server, because like you'll just know. Electro Goblet. Okay, so yeah, like I said, and like you mentioned, after like your whole, like including all the buffs, right? You said 3400 attack, right? So while a lot of people will say engulfing lightning is not worth it on Electro Gun, sure, yes, that is true, because of how much you have to spend, how many primos you have to spend, how many wishes you have to spend to be able to guarantee the weapon that you want on a weapon banner. Sure, it's not true, but it doesn't mean it still does not mean it's not gonna give you a damage boost, right? Like it is, because hang on, I could do some testing here, just a quick test. I'm pretty sure like with engulfing, you can reach like 4K attack, right? And while like like everybody says, attack has diminishing returns, but that doesn't mean it's like after it hits diminishing returns, if you keep going further, that doesn't mean it's not going to give you any more damage, right? It's still gonna keep giving you more damage, but it's just that the diminishing returns on attack is a lot lower than diminishing returns on other stats like crit damage or damage percent, because there's a lot of sources of attack buffs. I cannot look at my stats in Abyss. Where? Okay, I guess I'll just... No, I can't do that here. I'm underwater. Hey, what's up, Siddhartha? How you doing, man? Oh, I'm on my second account. This is... So it has engulfing. Okay. So let's... see. Alright. So, what would that be like? Let's see. Okay. You, and you. See? Doesn't Japanese sound so cool? Alright. So, at base... Okay. Sorry, excuse me. 1749. Engulfing. Alright. Oh, yes. This is also on an Electro Goblet. Yeah. Electro Goblet. Sure. Okay, let's see, what buffs do we need? Am I forgetting something? Hang on, let me think. Oh my, yikes. Okay, no burst. Well, I guess I don't need the burst. I guess I just need to fire the arrow off. Yeah, right? So not 4K. Not 4K, but still 3,400, like basically 3,800. 400 attack difference doesn't sound like it's gonna give you a lot, but that still means it's like a bit. It's 400 attack that is going to get 400 more attack. That crit damage is going to be multiplied by. Right, it's going to crit. And then the crit, whatever the base crit multiplier is, and then it's going to get multiplied by the however much more crit damage you have. Right, so that's a big difference. And in Abyss, you have attack cards sometimes. Right, so that 3,800 might even go all the way to 30. I don't know, like maybe 4K even. So yeah, don't set your standards to people who have engulfing, because you have the catch. Set your standards to people who have the catch. I don't even damage test on Genshin as long as I finish the Abyss with my build characters, right? Like that's really all I'm happy with. If I okay, I realize, okay, now I know how to build characters. I realize, okay, I build my characters how I think would be best to build them, and then okay, I'll try them out in Abyss. Hey, I got 36 stars. You know what? That was kind of cringe. That was kind of annoying. That was kind of hard. Let's build them some more. Let's build them some more. Let's build them some more. Okay, hey, this is getting easier. This is getting easier. Great. This is easy now. Nice. That's really all I care about. So is that all my weeklies? Requests, bounties, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. 6 hours, okay, that would be... We're fine. I remember co-oping with Happy to nuke with a completely uninvested C3 Raiden Shogun, and I hit for 700k. Never heard from him again. Yeah, he's been off of Genshin for some time now. I think 2 months, maybe a little bit more. It was because it started with his exams. He was busy preparing for the exams. Sorry, which? No, this is the wrong domain. I'm not going to farm the Marchese set anymore because I am farming for Alhaitham. Like I remember getting the sets that I needed. I realized I really only need one usable 4 Deepwood set, and I put it on Nahida, and I was like, we're good. And then I realized, oh wait, I need a 4-piece all EM gilded set for Kuke. Okay, farmed a little bit more for that, and I'm like, oh, we got it. Okay, good. And then that's it. You know, this is the thing that I don't like. One of the few things that I'm not happy with having Neuvillette is his Hyper Bloom teams don't really work properly without C1 and or without Raiden as your Electro procer. Because in Kuki's case, she procs. Hang on, I don't even have an EM weapon. I leveled EM weapon on this account. She procs, her Electro procs are around her, but then because you don't have C1 Neuvillette, you want to stay away from the enemies, so that you don't get staggered and knocked around. So your Electro procs are not hitting, but the Bloom Seeds are coming out of where the enemies are. So you're not really able to hit those seeds with your Electro from Puki because you're way over here because you don't have C1. And I hyper invested into my Raiden Shogun across all my different accounts, which means like I have C2, I have Engulfing, C2 or C3, and then I have Engulfing, and then it just feels bad using her as an EM bot. If you have another pyro, that's pyro resonance also. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just for me being efficient in spiral abyss rotations, and I'm good with it rather than doing damage nuke test because Genshin isn't even a difficult game. Yeah, but then like yeah, that's true. Like I get that, but then at the same time, like some people generally just find enjoyment or satisfaction in being able to do big PP damage. But then like they also like I want people to those kinds of players to realize that they have to set their standards according to their rank. Like you can't be level 1 and then already looking at level 99 players thinking, man, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not doing the same damage as that guy? Is Furina, Raiden, Kazuha, and Neuvillette. Furina, Raiden, Kazuha, and Neuvillette. Yeah, I assume Raiden, like EM Raiden.
Oh.
Rina. Oh, sorry. I thought there was Nahida in there. Sorry. Getting 5-star weapons, constellations are difficult in Genshin. That is true. Constellations are basically the same as just when you get a character for the first time, but they're worth a little bit less depending on what you prefer. If making the character that you like do bigger numbers in damage makes you happy, then sure, constellations are worth it. But of course, that depends on what kind of constellation it is. Oh, well, I'm Battle Pass 50, so I don't really care about when I reset expeditions anymore. Are we done? Yes, we are done. Alright, I'll be right back. Switching over to the third account. Got her 3 constellations. Hey, my man. I mean, like, I don't even simp for, I'm not even that attracted to Raiden Shogun. Like, I think she's cool and all. She's pretty badass. And I like that part of her character. And, like, I just really like her, like, how practical she is. How much better she made me feel about my account. So that's why I hyper invested into her. Just use Raiden E, that's all. Well, at least that's better than... at least that's a little bit better than why you're running Tartaglia in a Neuvillette team, right? I think that's a little better. I tried that team, by the way, and it's okay. Maybe I know like I didn't put in a lot of effort into building it properly, but it's okay. And I also know I don't have C1, which just sucks. I'm still trying to get C1, but on any of my accounts on Neuvillette, but at this point I'm annoyed at how I'm just realizing that the way Hoyo has decided to design C1s lately on limited 5-star characters is really annoying. So I've mentioned this on stream before that Hoyo is purposefully designing a character with a flaw, and then C1 it instantly fixes that flaw. Right, like, and I know that they've done that for a while, right? Like with Hu Tao, for example, Hu Tao C1, but then like Hu Tao C1, Hu Tao, you can still do charged attacks, right? And you can still get resistance interruption with a shield on, back then. But then like it wasn't a flaw; it's just that you lack stamina. You lack stamina, but, and C1 just makes it more convenient. And it's not that there's a built-in flaw into the character. The lack of stamina is just a normal thing in the game. It's part of the game. When you spam charged attacks, that happens on every character. You use up stamina, and then you won't have stamina anymore to dodge. Like, okay, here's okay, in Neuvillette's case, obviously they calculated his multipliers, his talent multipliers for his charge attack and other talents, including the draconic stack in mind. So if they didn't add the draconic stack passive thing, they would have given him higher multipliers. Right? No, but because they added the draconic stack passive thing, now his multipliers are lower than they would have been if they didn't add that part of his kit. Okay, so let's think about it. If they didn't add that part of his kit, the draconic thing, his multipliers would be higher. So now your only problem is just you're still going to do the same amount of damage as as if the what we have now on Neuvillette. But then your only problem now would just be resistance to interruption, right? And okay, in Hu Tao's case, that's that's still a problem that you have in Hu Tao, right? You still have that problem with Hu Tao. You still have that problem with any other character, because you will get knocked back if you don't have a shield on, if you don't have resistance to interruption on from Xingqiu or Beidou or whoever else has super armor, right? But because they added the draconic thing, now they're able to put to make it so that you will get one free of those stacks by just having C1. Right? So is they're designing characters with a flaw that they can then sell you the solution to. Supply and demand. I know I'm rambling, but then at the same time I'm not exactly defending them. I hate it when I get like this. I ramble about something I hate, and then I think about it, and then I realize I know why they did it. I know why they did it, and if it was me, I would have done it. If I was like the CEO too, like I would have done it the same. Like maybe not the same exactly, but I would have. It wouldn't have bothered me to do the same thing. I hate it when I get like this. They did this Neuvillette thing to Acheron and HSR, or E2. Oh, really? Well, I mean, they've been doing that. They've been doing the C2 thing in Genshin for a while recently, but the designing characters with a flaw and then selling you the solution in a constellation, that's kind of new. Yeah, I think like who do we have that on? I think really like so Neuvillette, Navia, Neuvillette, Chiori, and I can't think of anybody else. I feel like that's it, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's it. Cats. Sup, NVG? I haven't done the event yet. I have on my Asia account and on my friend's account, but I haven't on any of my accounts yet. How many characters you completed building? Me? I'm not sure, really. A lot, I guess. Not as many as some players, but a lot, I guess. And the thing that I'm most happy about is all of them have their own sets. Well, most of them, at least. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of them do. And I don't have to keep swapping stuff around. What happened to Venti? Did he? Ah, yes, I put it on Jean. Okay, right. So most, like I said, most of them have their own sets, right? And I don't have to keep swapping stuff around. Which is... Well, I guess except for the characters that I don't use that often. Well, Sucrose doesn't have anything because she just takes Venti's stuff whenever I use her. Bless. Yeah, wow. Even Diona, who I haven't used in probably, frankly, I don't know, 2 years maybe? I don't think I've used Diona in 2 years. Chevrolet doesn't really need a set. Gilded. Why is this on Gilded? Oh, yeah, okay, because this is this is Neuvillette set that I'm getting ready for. But Kaya on this account is not built. But yeah, like most of my characters that are actually built have their own set. I know I said this late, but I finally got the laptop, and it's exactly as you said, thick, but it doesn't get that heated. Yeah. It's physics. It's physics. Right? So let's say, yeah, it's just physics. Because it's thicker, it has more air. There's more space for air to flow through, right? And because obviously it's designed as a gaming laptop, so they put in bigger they likely put in bigger heat sinks, if they even have heat sinks in there. If not heat sinks, then if it's probably heat pipes, they probably put in bigger heat pipes. The more mass there is of heat pipes, and the better the quality of the copper or whatever material they use for the heat pipes, the better the higher quality it is at transferring heat, then the better it will stay cool. Because again, more mass, more surface area means more surface area for air that's going in and out of to touch. I guess, yeah. Like basically, think about it like this. Let's say you have oh, you know what? I guess I'll simplify it. The more surface area there is, like for some reason, I'm pretty sure I very well understand this, the idea of heat transfer. We're talking about laptops, and here I am talking about physics, giving a physics class. So I understand this very well, heat transfer, but for some reason I just can't explain it very well. And I'm very unhappy about that, because I remember hearing about this, hearing this quote from somewhere, where if you cannot explain something simply, then you simply don't understand it well enough. And I very much agree with that. I understand there are certain concepts that are too complicated to simplify, that if you oversimplify it, then the concept is lost. At least majority of the concept is lost. But I feel like heat transfer is pretty simple, and I'm not happy about the fact that every time I've needed to explain it to someone, I've never been able to explain it in a simple way. How many Genshin accounts do you have? I just have 3. Technically 4. I have 3 on NA, and I have 1 on Asia, but I hardly ever use it. I really only use it when there's an event that I think is easy enough for me to complete it on, so that I could get primos on it. I never do quests on it. I don't do normal daily commissions on it. It's just stuck at AR 45. None of the characters are leveled. I did not farm on it at all. I just have it, and then I get Fremo gems just so I have more chances to wish. And if I get something, great. If I don't get something, hey, I got Neuvillette on it recently, and he's level 1. I didn't bother farming at all for him. In fact, it's been like I haven't used resin on that thing in ages. Thick equals more airflow, thermodynamics, class in session. Particles and gas are much further than solids, so they collide with each other at a much slower rate, hence much slower heat transfer. Oh my god. I mean, that is a very specific explanation. And people who understand it will be like, that's good. But people who don't understand it will just be there staring, and then dial-up tones playing in the background. Yeah. But again, so yeah, like I said, more places for air to touch, flowing air rather, to touch heat-generating components in your computer, the better. Because so why I say flowing air, because if it's not flowing air, then the heat-generating components of your computer will make the air that it's touching hotter, and if that air is not flowing, then that air will get to the point where it'll be the same temperature as the heat-generating components. The heat-generating components will just, the heat on those components will just stay there. It won't get dissipated into the air around you. I learned that in the very first chapter of physics. I remember that lesson about gas. Yeah, yeah, about gases and their molecules being further apart from each other. I think I don't remember. It was somewhere around like 6th grade, but it was taught in like the most basic way possible, and I had no idea. Like I just remember having to look at illustrations and pick A, B, C, or D in an exam. And at some point I had to draw it, and it was somewhere between 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I think. Woohoo! Oh my god, if I was the animator for this thing, I would just be... I don't know. At that, I think I would be questioning my life choices at that point. I would start thinking, what decisions have I made in life that have led me to this point where I'm animating a cat? I'm trying to make this digital fake cat in a computer look cute like a real cat. And nothing against them. That's their job, right? And like, if I don't know, who knows, right? Maybe that's the only job they're capable of doing, right? Who knows? Yeah, and if that's the case, hey, they got families to feed, right? I'm not bashing on them. Oh, it's not unlocked. Oh, okay. I am not done. What am I doing? Two cat. Okay. Fast particles super far from one another. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. By particles you mean molecules, right? The molecules. And that's why they're able to take the gas and liquid. That's why they're able to take the shape of the container that you put them in. Because they're able to shift around. Oops. Come on. Man, I have a cat here to pet. Basic science like atom composition for each phases of matter. Yeah. You know, I wish I had paid, like, now that I'm like older and I'm a science enthusiast, I actually wish I'd paid more attention to maybe not paid more attention, because a lot of the stuff that they taught us in primary school and high school were like basic stuff that were maybe not something that you just learn on your own, like just through common sense, but just very basic stuff, right? Like your teacher says it once, as long as you're not retarded, you will understand it almost instantly. Very basic concepts. And I wish I had put in more effort, because I now wish that more people saw that I was not as dumb as I showed how dumb I was. If that makes sense. Because I basically showed everybody I'm pretty dumb. Like, so every quarter grading, they would always give us a ranking of all the students in class. They would print everybody's name in a piece of paper based on their general average, and put it up on the wall in the classroom. And I was always anywhere from the second or the third from the bottom. I would have 40, 41, or 42 students. And that was... Now, I'm not gonna say I was smart, because I was pretty stupid. Like, I could not understand accounting. We had an accounting subject in 8th grade. I could not understand basic accounting to save my life. Like, never. Never could I. Now that I'm older, though, I understand, like, wow, this was supposed to be, like, basic stuff. But then, like, it's really stuff that you learn when you grow up, when you're actually dealing with it, IRL. And I am dealing with it IRL. While I'm not doing accounting, I'm not, like, writing down every expense and asset and what are the words for it? I can't remember. Liabilities and stuff like that. I'm not writing them all down. But there are things that I always have in mind. I have debts to pay. I have, well, as it stands now, I have 0 assets. I'm too far in debt to even consider that I actually have assets. What was this thing immune to again? I have no idea. I'm just gonna roll the chamber and then guess. Hey, we got it. Immune to hydro. Roll the chamber. That was a reference to Russian roulette. What is that sound, by the way? I always hear it happen when I use cookies. Oh. Oh, that's what that sound is. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there was like a kind of sound. Was that the umbrella? Was that this thing? We're joining your Discord server. Hey, nice. Hey, if you need any help, Stella, please ask anyone there for opinions. We have a need help channel, so feel free to ask over there. And if you want me personally to answer your questions, you can just ping me. My name is Elvis Einstein on our Discord server. Right, that's why liquid metal is better in cooling than thermal paste, because liquid metal becomes liquid when heated, makes the CPU GPU cooler than using thermal paste. Also, it's not just that. It's not just it's the state of matter. It's also the fact that it's metal. The fact that it's metal. Metal is literally conductive material. It conducts electricity, therefore it conducts heat more efficiently than whatever thermal paste is made out of. Thermal paste is not conductive, so normally it shouldn't be good at conducting stuff. In fact, it should be resisting heat transfer, right? But because of whatever material it's made out of, thanks to, hey, material science, I guess, it actually conducts heat without conducting electricity, and that's why there's little risk of you shorting out your components if you if it spills out. Yeah, using liquid metal though is very dangerous, because like if it spills anywhere else, and it might get in contact with like some contacts, like it might get in contact with a positive and a negative contact anywhere, like that's a dead system you got. I just now started grinding artifacts after completing Dendro Archon quest. Oh my god. Stella, you seem like a very new player. I really hope you are enjoying the quests so far, because there are a lot. I would not want to do all of them again. At this point, I've already done them multiple times because I have multiple accounts, and I would not create a new account and do all of them all over again. But for a new player who hasn't experienced all of that, and if that's the type of gameplay they enjoy, Hey, great. I'm happy for you. I'm playing Genshin for 5 months. Oh, nice, nice. So, how are you enjoying Genshin so far? So it seems like Stella, you seem to be a little bit more on the casual side, but the fact that you asked me about the combat stuff earlier, I imagine that you're at least a little bit interested in making your characters and teams stronger. Or you just feel like you need to make them stronger because you're running into roadblocks sometimes in combat. That's my guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, what's up, Xana? How you doing, man? Xana, Zatara, you've reminded me of this magical, like, I don't know if she's a hero even, in the DC universe of superheroes. I think her name was Zatanna, and apparently she's the one of the love interests of she's not a doctor. What was his name? The magic dude. The drunkard British magic dude that they have there. I assume he's more like the Doctor Strange equivalent in that universe, except that he's not a doctor and he's a drunkard. I forgot his name. Batman called her Xana once in the OG animated series. Oh, really? I did not know that, actually. I've been liking the more recent DC like superhero stuff. Live action can go, live in a hole. It's just not great, man. Just not great. Like the Flash, oh my god. But I didn't even see it. I just saw trailers, and I just looking at the trailers. For some reason they chose those to be the trailers, and they weren't even great. I guess they were the most action-packed shots in the movie, but it was terrible. It was just, honestly, if I was the director, I would have just. If I was the director of that thing, I would have just went up to the producer and said, "I'm sorry, I cannot let this get out into the public." Like exactly what they did with Batgirl, apparently. Right? Have you all heard that news? Like they were working on a Batgirl movie, and then they scratched the whole thing, and then they just scratched the whole thing. They didn't even bother finishing and releasing it or whatever, right? They didn't even bother leaking the thing. Even unofficially. They just scratched the whole thing and then just considered it a write-off. I need to build my characters stronger to clear the Abyss floor. Ah, okay. So at least you're at least interested in Abyss. All right. Well, anyway, so Stella, please, if you want, it's no problem if you ask for anybody else's opinions over there. We got a lot of really smart people when it comes to combat stuff and building characters' accounts over there on Discord. But hey, if you want me specifically, again, ping me. My name is ping me on the Need Help channel on our Discord server. My name is Elvis Einstein on our Discord server. And if you wanna. Yeah, if you ping me, I would recommend sending screenshots of your character list. Like, give me a screenshot of this screen and like all the characters that you have. And then like show me which teams you want to put together. Like maybe give me a screenshot of your team compositions, the team compositions that you're enjoying, characters that you like, and then maybe your weapons too. Yeah, like this screen right here. Show me like the weapons that you have available. Yeah, and then like after that, yeah, like now I can't promise you I can get on it right away because I have work in an hour from now. Now that being said, I don't really have anything to do at this point. I just did my weeklies. Oh wait, I haven't used my resin on this account. We'll do that. You know what? Okay. Yeah, battle pass. Well, 49, basically 50. Might as well use up all my resin. Where that's not the crafting bench. I don't know. I hope nobody caught that. I was walking up to this plant and then mashing F. If I had like a keyboard like indicator of what keys I was pressing, you would just see the F key being mashed as I was walking up to that plant. Focus on the story, didn't focus on building my characters. Hey, that's fine. That's fine, honestly. Honestly, I think more players should do that. Because focusing solely on building characters, it gets old very quickly, right? Because especially unless maybe if you're a spender or if you're a whale, because if you're a spender or if you're a whale, then that means like every new character release, you will be able to afford to get every new character. You'll be able to afford getting their signature weapon, their significant constellations, and so this is something that this is a bit of a, how would you call it, formula. Yeah, you could call it a formula. The formula that Hoyo has decided on how to run Genshin. So earlier I mentioned one of the little details about this formula. So they release a character, they release it with a few flaws, and then after that they release it with a few flaws, and then they give it a C1 that fixes that flaw or makes that flaw a lot less cringe, makes it so that getting that constellation negates that flaw and makes that character a lot less cringe to play. And so, okay, there's that. A C2 that makes it stronger, like just flat out stronger. And a weapon, a signature weapon that makes it stronger, sort of similar to its C2 typically. And the weapon, especially recently, weapons, signature weapons have been giving energy, right? Like it was with Zhenyun and with Neuvillette's signature weapon. They give energy now. It's not like because like they've realized that a signature weapon like Shenhe's, for example, it gives 0 energy, and nobody wants it because Shenhe needs energy. Everybody, like even players that have Calamity Queller are using Favonius Lance because it doesn't give any energy. Hey, what's up, Night Owl? How you doing, man? So yeah, like again, like I said, I think you should focus more on the story, building characters. Sure, you can focus on it, just so you don't have to get frustrated at like having to deal with occasional combat, especially like while you're doing the quests. Now, once you start getting into Abyss, now that's a different story. So yeah, just don't rush it too much, right? Don't rush it too much. There are quite a lot of things that you will have to learn. So obviously, if you understand the elemental system already, that's good. If not, we'll do a bit of a rundown. Just a I guess oversimplified way of seeing things. Most of the elemental reactions, you want to do them. The Yeah, they're worth it. Like they multiply, if not multiply, then they do damage them, like a lot more damage than just the raw damage output of your characters. So you definitely want to do them. Some of the most notable elemental reactions are Hyper Bloom, definitely the least expensive one to get to invest into and get good results out of. Hyper Bloom. The other ones would be Vaporize and or Melt. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I would say those three mainly. The other ones are okay too. Like Electro Charge is okay, Overload is okay, especially now with Chevreuse, it's decent. But that is if you have Chevreuse. But they're a little more heavy on the investment. You need your characters to be a little bit more invested into for those elemental reactions, for teams that revolve around those elemental reactions to get good. Why is it taking me so long to find cookie stuff? There we go. Thank you very much. Oh boy. There we go. Elemental Mastery. Elemental Mastery. Cookie Shinobu's whatever. Where is it? Thank you very much. And last one. This is gonna be hard to find because it's not gilded. And I have very slow eyes. I don't have bad eyes, but I have slow eyes. And that's why I'm playing Genshin. That's why I'm playing Genshin. Because I've never had I've always had very slow reaction time. So I've never had the chance to get good at competitive video games. Swirl is okay. But then like we were talking about a new character here. Sorry, a new player. Right. Sorry, by the way. Stella. What adventure rank are you? You said you've been playing for 5 months, but time doesn't exactly tell most people how far you are into the game, especially in terms of building your account, building your characters, because like you could have been playing super actively in that 5 months, and you're very much at end game, but you could have been playing for 2 years and taken 3-month breaks after playing 1 week at a time. Right? So like I have no idea. AR so let's see. I don't know if you're I'm assuming you're still in chat, Stella. What adventure rank are you? That's would have been better if it was EM because I'm farming for Alhaitham, but hey, not bad. It's something. Hey, Night Owl, you're 50 now. Nice. How's the game treating you so far? AR-45. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's the point that you can actually start farming. Start farming artifacts. Alright, although so most people say AR-45 is really when you can start farming artifacts. But now, I don't disagree with that statement, but it also does not apply to everyone. Because not everyone will be able to farm immediately at AR-45. Farm artifacts immediately at AR-45. Because especially if you were playing super actively and you knew exactly what you were doing, because if you were playing super actively at that point, like by the time you hit AR-45, you will probably have like 1 or 2 level 80 characters that don't have proper artifact sets. They have the right main stats maybe, and they have barely usable substats. But at that point, a lot of your resin is still gonna go to farming world boss materials, ascension materials, and talent materials. But at the very least, AR-45 means you can at least start farming for some of the really important artifact sets like Viridescent Veneraire or this set, Deepwood Memories. Terribly. I wish it didn't rush to reach AR-50. Oh, are you at the point now where you're severely short on Mora? And you're severely short on Mora and basically everything else. Mora, XP books, and you're very short on resin. You feel like you need like 50,000 resin to finally get everything caught up. If you're there, then yes, that is a pretty terrible place to be. That's sort of what I experienced on my third account. Because on my third account, at that point I knew what I was doing already, so I was playing very actively. So I had one level 80 character, 80 out of 80, and one 70 out of 80, and then everyone else was like level 40. And it was awful. And I had no Mora, I had no materials, no hilichurl masks, so I had to farm all of that. I had to farm like the plant material stuff. Man, it was not a good time. I've been playing for 4 months. I think I'm AR54. I started playing at AR50. It's a pain. You started grinding at AR50. It's a pain. Yeah, right? Like the real grind starts around 45. No. Around 50. Because like AR50 is when you feel like your account can do something. Like it can go to floor 9 to floor 10. And that's when you start being able to like to start doing proper rotations with your teams, and that's when the game really starts for you. Like you can actually do proper combat, and you're not just banging your head against everything. But then it's also the time where you feel like, oh, I'm fighting this, and now I can fight now. Oh, but I'm not strong enough to do it well, to fight well. So then that's when you feel like I need to grind. I really like Raiden Shogun's Japanese voice, by the way. It sounds so authoritative. Yeah, it sounds so authoritative. It sounds like it very much sounds like a mommy anime. Somebody that I would like to take care of me. Somebody that I would like to wake up to in the morning cooking breakfast in my kitchen. Listen to Furina? Oh, Furina's adorable. I really like her her Japanese voices. It's so adorable. It's so cute. It makes me feel exactly how I feel about Furina's character. It sounds like the opposite of a Raiden Shogun to me. Like Raiden Shogun, I want, like, the voice makes me feel like it's somebody I want to take care of me. In Furina's case, it sounds like somebody I want to take care of. Feel like a character that can deal 4-digit damage, not including crits, means I'm doing something right. Hey, and that's good, right? That's good. Like by the time, oh, nice. Okay, we got something. Okay, no. Wait, there was somebody who said AR-59 and had 5-digit Mora. Hang on, 5 digits. How much is that? Less than 1 million? Oh no. What? Less than 100,000 Mora? Oh my god. That is yikes. Kind of. That is stressful, man. That is like me IRL, very stressful. At least you have something though. Like you actually have Mora. For me, because I'm so I'm so deep in debt. Like I always think, like every time I get my money, every time I get paid, I don't even think, hey, I got money to spend now. No, I think I see it as negative. Just like, so a negative number means like bigger number means smaller value, right? And that's how I feel. But every time I get paid, I just feel like, yes, the number is getting smaller. Rena's so dramatic in Hydro Archon first. Well, I won't spoil too much, Stella, but she was supposed to. She had to. Yeah, that's all I'll say. She had to. She had no choice. Alright, gonna spend my resin on the main account this time. Random question. The Amanoma Kakuchi sword, what characters would you recommend using that sword on? Most people use it on Ayaka. Other than that, I have no idea. I don't really see anyone using that sword on anybody else. Or do you want to know how it feels like to not sleep a whole day? Oh, I've done that too. I'm old enough to have done most stuff already. I guess I'll say this though. The one thing I haven't done, despite being an older dude, is playing with women. That's the one thing that I'm pretty happy about that I haven't done. For some reason, I don't feel like Yelan's Japanese VA suits her character. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, technically, she's supposed to be a spy, so she's supposed to be like smooth and like cunning, and I guess I don't know. I mean, in that case, it kind of suits her. But for some reason, like Yelan gives me mommy vibes. So I feel like her voice should be similar to Raiden Shogun's. I hope the pupa stuff have respawned. If it's not rude to ask, how old are you? You say you're old, but you sound pretty young. That's just the microphone, man. I'm 31 years old, my dude. Not super old, but I feel old. Also not young anymore. Oh, there you are. And I'll take you. Don't feel old and feel young. That would be nice. But it's kind of hard to do when you're multiple years when you've dug yourself into a pit of debt that you are struggling to dig yourself out of. and it was also very much avoidable. Like now, like in the present, you realize it was very avoidable. That plus the everyday worry of the everyday fear of potentially giving your family a bad future. That makes you feel old. Yeah, it's not about the age. It's about the fear of failing. Or if not failing, then at least the fear of not living up to your self-standards. Especially if it's just for yourself, then if you fail, then okay. You only got you to blame and you're the only one that's gonna suffer. But if you got a family that's relying on you, then the story becomes very different. It's not just you who's gonna suffer for your mistakes, it's you and the people you care about. At least in Japanese, Neuvillette doesn't go raw. You know what? That's absolutely right. You know, I'm still really confused why they decided to go with that. It's so weird. Why did they decide to go with that? Like, I know that the voice actor probably wanted to try out different things, but ultimately it's up to the director or whoever's in charge of that to decide yes or no, this one. Right? But then, like, for some reason they decided to go with rah. It sounds so weird. It sounds so out of place. He talks so like Melusines are beautiful creatures. And then the next moment, it's just, I don't get it. I just feel old when somebody asks me if I have a wife, which I don't have. Well, I get that. I think I understand why. You feel old because, like, you realize, oh, I'm at an age where most of my friends at this age were already married and have had children, and here I am. Oh my god, when you do have children though, the first few months, like the first year, yeah, oh my god. Especially if your wife isn't as persevering, like the most persevering person ever. First year, like a nightmare. Man. You just feel like you never have enough sleep. Some wives are like super persevering, and I have mad respect to some of those moms that despite after losing so much I don't even know what else they lose, like when they give birth. They lose a lot of DHA, like a lot of stuff. They lose a lot of stuff, a lot of whatever it is the human body needs for energy. And not just energy, but also memory, and they're emotionally very very difficult. But then some moms, like, they don't bat an eye. They just, when they hear the baby crying, they wake up, they don't bother dad, and they wake up, they take care of it. But I also do not blame the moms that do sometimes wake up daddy and say, hey dad, could you go take care of that? I'm so tired. Like, I absolutely do not blame them. It is just, man. You, like, in that first year, you will feel like something. You won't feel like yourself. This music sounds very much like Antonio Banderas music. Ding 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 ding. Wait, what was Zorro music again? I don't remember. Hey RJ, hey, what's up, Huang An? How you doing, man? Is this right? Yes, this is right. If he's a judge and strong, it's better to have a calm voice without grunting. Oh my god, I keep running into that tree and that cliff. I just get stuck there every time. I don't think there's any here. How about C0 Chev for Shogun Overload? C0, like there's really like C0 and C6 Chevrolet, really no difference. C6 just gives you better damage for like the characters you're buffing, but literally the same thing. Like look, okay, I built Chevrolet immediately as soon as I got her, whether I got her C6 or not. And like look at this. Wait, why does she have R5? It's who is supposed to have R5? Oh, I'm on the main account. I have 2 R5 lances here. Okay, but so honestly, I have not used Chevreuse with Favonius. The only time I used Chevreuse was in that abyss of whichever version update she was released in, because it was just perfect with the Hydro Tulpa. And I did not even put Favonius Lance on her. I literally just went in there with this thing. Like it really is. Just make her not die in one hit. That's all you need to do. That's literally all you need to do. Just make it so that she doesn't die in one hit. Of course, you want to level her up to get the passive, right? To get these 2 passives, so at least 60 out of 70. And then after that, nothing. You don't need anything. You don't really need the burst. You just need the skill to buff, and that's it. Like if you don't have any 4 Noblesse user on the team yet, okay, sure, put 4 Noblesse on her. Really doesn't matter. Of course, if you want her to heal better, then you will want to level up her skill. I think yes, her skill. If you want her to heal better, but in most cases she heals fine. Isn't your Benny also running the Bless? Yes, he is. But I remember I think I have 4 Noblesse on Chevreuse now, because I think I tried out a team that didn't have Bennett on it. I think so. I'm not sure. I forgot. But yeah, at some point I tried using a team that didn't have Bennett on it, so I needed Chevreuse on 4 Noblesse. Oh, what is Jan Yun's voice in Japanese?
Ha! Kaze yo. Kaze yo. Shire. Happou no kaze. Habataku. 1000人のご高麗だ。秋風。今にキス。ふむ。部品として使えそうだ。
Alright, that is a very mommy voice.
珍しいものか？わらわにも見せてみるといい。わらわが発明してやってもよいぞ。お宝探索神器をな。不敬な。悪くない動きだ。わらわが最後まで付き合ってやろう。
Yeah, but a little less authoritative than Raiden Shogun. Of course, understandable. Raiden Shogun's literally an archon. Literally the god of her nation. So why would she not sound authoritative? Okay, then use this, go back here. I mean, she is a mother. Yes, that's true. Literally. Well, not by blood. Oh dear. Oh, I did not change teams. I was too busy opening up my Ascension planner. Okay, how many do we have? 194. Nope, that's wrong. 194. All right. Okay, finally. I just need to farm that thing one more time. Sorry, not the boss, but like the pupa stuff. I just need to wait for another 3 days, and then I can farm it one more time, and then I'll be done, finally. Listen to Ayato burst lines or Kazuha? Unfortunately, I don't have Ayato. But I can definitely listen to Kazuha's though. Nope. That is wrong. There we go. Burst.
雲隠れ借りなく時風のむた雲の行くごともみちばを散らまく惜しみ風のむた雲の行くごともみちばを散らまく惜しみ
He sounds like a secondary character in an anime. Yeah, he sounds like a secondary character in an anime. Not the MC, but he just sounds like a secondary character.
風を知れ風の行く先をはっもみちばを風の流れる方へ天地の恵みであるな
Is when you switch to Japanese dub in Genshin. When I discovered Japanese dub, since I played in Genshin, then switched to other languages. Really? I'm still keeping. Can we even delete English? Oh, Kuki sounds pretty cool too.
渚の凛厄払いしっかり立ってなおとなしくしな
She sounds like the type of character Sarada is, like in Boruto. In Boruto, yeah, like you know the type of character Sarada is, like she's always trying to keep Boruto in check, sometimes mad at the guy, but also really cares about him and his teammates.
邪魔をするな。うん。塵も積もれば山となる。ふん。次は私の番だ。
You know, she actually sounds like the Sarada VA. I'm listening to it right now, and it sounds almost exactly like Sarada.
厄払い。おとなしくしな。嫌い。
A little on the deeper side.
おとなしくしな。今回もうまくいきそうだな。
Shogun's burst lines too. I think I hear it, but I've never listened to it, but I hear it when I burst.
稲光すなわち永遠なり。
Man.
ここより弱滅の時。
Yes. That is the voice of somebody who I want to see cooking my breakfast in the morning. I know that sounds weird, and I know it is. But that's exactly how I feel. Let her cook? Oh no. That's right in Shogun. No, don't let her cook. Shogun can't even cook. No, just the voice, man. Just the voice. I just want to see it. I didn't say anything about eating her food. I just want to see her cooking. Can't even buy groceries. I said nothing about eating the food she cooked though. Ren Shogun C6? No, my Shoguns are only C3. I feel like what does C4 even do? C6 is it's okay, but then like I feel like is it even useful? Like, where do you even use that thing? C4, what does C4 even do? Hang on. Burst expires, party members get... Okay, it's a buff to the team. But, like... at C3, your Raiden Shogun is kind of destroying everything already. So, what is there left for your team to kill afterwards, right? Like, and if there is something for your team to kill afterwards... would it even need that the rest of your team to be super strong anymore? I feel like, okay, it's a 30% attack bonus. Now, attack, again, much easier to reach point of diminishing returns. With attack. So, it's okay. Yeah, right. And C6 reduces cooldowns and your team's cooldowns, I think. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess maybe if you want to have tighter rotations, like if you want your rotations to be even more fast-paced than it already is. But then, like I said, you're making your rotation super fast-paced, which means you're gonna rotate back to your other characters a lot faster. But then your C3 Raiden Shogun already destroyed everything. So what is there left for the rest of your team? And C6 gives enemies negative 200 Electro Res or something. It's not actually not that big. It's obviously negative 200 resistance. Sure. But if it's reduce their resistance by 200, then in the end, overall, your enemy resistances will really only be negative 100, because apparently, the way resistances work is once you get to 0 resistance, any debuff in resistance after that is only half effective. It's only 50% effective. So let's say you have an enemy that has 30% Dendro resistance, and you have Deepwood. No, let's say you have an enemy that has 20% Dendro resistance, and you proc for Deepwood, which reduces Dendro resistance by 30. So you have 20 resistance, you go to 0, and then you have another 10 from the 30, and by that point, it'll only be half effective, which means it won't go to negative 10, it'll only go to negative 5. But if the if the C6 literally says enemies that Raiden Shogun hits or does damage to or whatever will have negative 200 electro resistance, then that's insane. That would be nuts. That is every dream. That is every whale's wet dream. But then again, I think, so realistically speaking, if they made that to be Raiden Shogun C6, I think the Raiden Shogun that we know of today would be a lot weaker. Because again, realistically, they would have to account for that in deciding her damage multipliers. Right? Her talent multipliers. So to not make her too overpowered and imbalanced, they would have to reduce her talent multipliers in order for whales that have C6 to not be too OP.
Huh.
Why, bro? Gonna play Genshin? See you on Discord. Hey, sure. Thanks for hanging out with us for a bit, man. Take care. Good luck. Compare Naida and Chi-Chi voice lines. I don't remember Chi-Chi's voice lines even. What are Chi-Chi's? I don't remember her voice in Japanese anymore. Oh, wait. No. I was thinking of the English voice doing Japanese words. But no, that's not right. I don't remember what it sounds like. I'll listen to it in a bit. Yeah, I got half an hour before I gotta get to work, so I better skedaddle. Sorry, skedaddle might not be the appropriate word. I'm not going yet, if you're wondering. I still have to farm the pupa stuff for on my third account. Okay, where am I? Here we go. Talk about balance while C6 Yelan exists. Well, okay. So there's also a there's very much also a possibility that Hoyo will just forego balance at that point because it is a C6. All right, so hardly anyone will have it. So they might just completely forego balance at that point and just decide, well, it's a whale, it's gonna have this. So we might as well, I mean, like, literally, whales IRL, they buy supercars, right? Like, in what world do you actually need a supercar to go anywhere? In what world do you need 1200 horsepower to go anywhere? Unless if you're like a trucker, right? Like actually driving a work truck and like pull, like, I don't know, you have giant logs in the back. In what world would you need 1200 powers in your Bugatti Veyron to go anywhere? So I guess that's the whale for you. All logic of balance goes out the window. You pay more, you get more, whether you need it or not. Don't say hardly anyone will have. Oh my god. Now every other person I see has an E6, S5, Acheron, and HSR. Oh jeez. Oh my lord. I mean, not gonna lie, she is pretty attractive actually. Like if I were to play Star Rail, despite me really not liking that kind of gameplay, it would probably, if I were to play that game because of a character, it would probably be because of either Acheron or Jing Liu. Who is that girl? Who is that girl who has a blindfold on? Logic of rich people. I know, right? Logic of rich people. I paid more, so I should get more. I don't need it, but I paid more. So give me more. You know, I really don't get, so people are saying that Honkai Impact 3rd and Honkai Impact, sorry, no, not Honkai Impact, Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, Honkai Star Rail are the way they are compared to Genshin because they have different directors. That's what people are saying. And I'm also hearing a different story, that apparently the guy in charge of creating, like, I guess the vision for Genshin Impact hardly had anything to do with its continued development that apparently he just immediately left the project after Genshin was released. Like he was just there for the initial development, and then after Genshin was released, he's gone. Already moved on to Star Rail. Oh my god, just let me don't care about being efficient. I will climb up. Thank you. Greetings. Hey, what's up, Shinrin? How you doing, man? Genshin is an experimental game for HSR, I guess. I wouldn't say experimental because like they did bet a lot on Genshin. Like it was a big gamble, right? Like whoever has invested $110 million to develop a gacha game, a triple A gacha game, right? Like it's never been done before, really. It was a big investment. It was a big the difference between business and just straight up gambling is, at least in business, you can plan. You can change your odds of success by planning, research, hard work, and it's not just sheer luck. Whereas in gambling, it's just sheer luck. Right? So but still, it is a gamble. It was a big gamble. They gambled hard on Genshin. And so Hoyo thought that they were gambling a lot on Genshin, so they also felt the need to make everyone gamble in Genshin. So here we are, 2024, still gambling. I don't believe that. Genshin right now has 0 competition, so they don't have to try, while Honkai Star Rail has a lot of competition, so they have to try a lot more. That is something that I have thought of too, yes. Yeah. Like, Honkai Impact 3rd, it did, I don't know if it had competition. Did it even have competition at the time? I feel like it didn't have. Like, maybe 1 or 2, but then, like, that industry, that space, just didn't exist back then. Like, PGR. Oh, okay. Right? But yeah, like that space, that niche of games was so small, and the gamers that were attracted to those games was so niche. The community was so small that they actually had to try. They had to try and attract gamers that weren't attracted to those types of games. They were attracted to different types of games at the time. Like they were still attracting, they were trying very hard to attract players from other niches. Whereas with Genshin, the niche was already there. Well, at least partially. They created the niche, I guess. And they did it really well. They also had a lot of help because of, they also got a lot of help from COVID. But, like everything, all of that falling into place for them worked out really well for them, and they were able to create this niche. And now Genshin just has no competition right now. Now, it does have competition for the smaller niche within this niche. So, by the how would I even call this? The parent niche. The parent niche is anime waifu, anime aesthetic gacha game, waifu husbando collector / So in Japan, I recently learned this, by the way. Apparently in Japan they have like VTubers have this thing called, it's not even just VTubers. There's also like actual IRL people and idols, where it's, what is it? It's, they refer to it as a boyfriend experience or girlfriend experience. And if you are a male idol, or then you, of course, obviously your audience will be mostly females, and you have to provide your audience, your fans, with a boyfriend experience. Like, you have to make them feel like you are their boyfriend without ever being their boyfriend. And to some degree, Genshin and a lot of these anime waifu and manga games also do, to some degree. Obviously, it's not a person that you can interact with, but there is a story in the game where they have the opportunity to characterize a character, to give them a personality, to give them, a personality, right? To make them feel like a person. And because it's a video game, you can actually interact with them to a certain degree. Like, you can control what they're doing, you can walk around with them in this world that they've created. Play Honkai Impact, please? No, sorry, dude, I don't play Honkai Impact. So, Genshin sort of has done that. Like, they created that niche. This is like the parent niche, and then there's also the subsidiary niches within this parent niche, which is like, so the players who are more interested in collecting characters of this type of game genre, and there are also the players that are more interested in the combat side, but also like this aesthetic of a game in this game genre. The unique elemental system, the unique elemental system that they created, I'm sure it's not the first time any game has ever implemented this type of elemental system, but it's oddly, it's weird, like it's complicatedly simple is how I would describe it. It's complicated, like, once you start explaining how it works, but then when you use it, it's mostly unga bunga. It's in that regard, it's simple. So that really also helped a lot, because it also attracted the sub niche of players who like combat. Unfortunately, a lot of those players are not getting much love. It's obvious. The types of events we've been getting, the types of content we've been getting, it's obvious that the problem with that sub niche of players is because they try so hard, they put in so much effort into building their characters, into researching how to build characters, and the ratio of damage potential of characters and the HPs of enemies is, I don't know how to describe it, but like the HPs of enemies in Genshin are too low compared to the damage potential of the characters in Genshin. But Hoyo did not want that HP to go too high, because they knew, at least now they know, especially after the game's release, after 3 years of running the game, now they have statistics for it, right? Like, they know how old players are, they know what type of players are here, right? So they realize, okay, so a lot of our, and whether or not there are more of the casual players or more of the hardcore players, I'm sure there are more of the casual players who don't know, or at least don't want to bother learning how to build all the characters properly and using them in an efficient manner, are spending more. More of them are spending, and they are spending more because they don't want to, like, especially the ones that can afford it, right? They don't want to have to bother learning something. So, and if they can afford it, they'll just buy primos, they'll just buy significant constellations, and their characters will be stronger. Like, they just have to actually build them correctly. So they get rewarded. So they also get rewarded in the sense that in a similar way that you get rewarded when you go shopping. Right? Like you buy something, you get something good. So they've done a very good job of running this business, is what I'm saying. But then the players who are more interested in combat, they are more likely to put in the effort to learn how to build characters and how to play them efficiently to get more damage out of them. Which means they don't have to buy constellations because of this ratio of HP, enemy HP to character damage. And that's why Hoyo has decided, okay, we need to please this sub-niche of players, of gamers, the casual ones, because more of them are spending, and the ones that are spending more. Again, it's just a theory, a game theory, a business theory, but it makes sense. I'm sure it's not completely correct, but hey, it's my theory. Oops. RJ, what build are you giving Dia? Honestly, I have no idea. I still do not know. I have not tested her out. So, and I have not gotten an answer yet to this simple question that I think would be solved very easily if I just tested it out. Do Dia's E-procs hit Bloom Seeds? If yes, I will build her EM. So occasionally because occasionally she will be proccing Burgeon, so her Burgeons will be at least decent. But if no, then I will just build her whatever. So I still haven't had the time to test it out, or have had the patience to test it out. But right now she is not built. I don't have anything on her. I'm still just leveling her. Okay, bye, bro. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Hoang An. Take care, man. Oh, that way. Okay. What team are you aiming for, Mr. Neuvillette? I think I'm just gonna go for the Nahida, Raiden, EM Raiden. Unfortunately, that also means I'm gonna have to raise Dragonsbane, which I'm not looking forward to. I'm not too keen on, especially using a C3 Raiden Shogun in an EM build. Just doesn't sit right with me. Oh man. Yeah, and Dia. Mostly because Nahida, well, typically I use Nahida in a Hyper Bloom team, right? I don't really have Alhaitham or Yaimiko or a decently built Fischl that's worth building an Aggravate or Spread team for. So the only team I ever use Nahida in would be Hyper Bloom, and obviously that is a Hyper Bloom / Burgeon team potentially with Neuvillette. And fourth character is somebody who, because I don't have C1, you get super armor from Dia, right? So it just works. It just fits. And it allows me to vape every now and then, and it sometimes procs Burgeons, maybe. Again, I still have to test it out because apparently I just cannot find the answer online. I've tested Taser. I don't have good. I don't have electro characters that are built well enough for me to actually run it properly. Yeah, like Fischl. My Fischl is built, sure, but it's like it's an build. It just barely works. I'm sure it's strong enough. Especially, you know, but then my problem is that my Neuvillettes just aren't built very well. They're just barely built. I don't have his weapon. I don't have his weapon. If I had his weapon, then I wouldn't care what team I put him in. He would still just slap. Like a Taser team since Raiden. I also is long. Also see you on Neuvillette. Like a Taser team since Raiden. E is long. Also see you on Neuvillette. Right. I've also tried Beidou, but again, I also, you know, like my Beidou build is very and Beidou is sort of situationally good and situationally bad. Well, not bad. Like, there's no situation where she's bad, but when she's not good, she's not good. I just said earlier, do you want to try good Neuvillette? Why so serious? Why do I have this window open? Oh, right. Okay, hang on. Because I wanted to... Oh, I guess I did not need to farm this anymore. I unnecessarily farmed for pupas on my third and second accounts. Did not need to do that, but sure, I guess. Four-piece instructor Dia is actually good. Oh yes, that was what I was thinking too. Putting 4 instructor on her because it's a Hyper Bloom / Burgeon team. So yeah, that was a team that I was thinking of building. Neuvillette, there it is. Of course, you would have 300 crit damage because you have his weapon. How would yeah. All right, hey, cool. You have C1. Nice. Congrats, man. Did you get all of that? Did you get all of that? Yeah, you. Why so serious? Yeah, did you get all of that this patch? Or... Yeah, what did you get this patch? I mean, with an 88 crit damage weapon, like, I don't see how anyone with that weapon would have a bad character. Right? Like, just like how no one has a bad Alhaitham. Right, because like one of his better weapons is what is it called? 3-star. What is it called? Don't remember. Harbinger, which is a lot of crit value. And if not that, if you have his weapon, that's also 88 crit damage. So yeah, like literally no one has a bad Alhaitham. But yeah, good. Saved it for a few months. Didn't wish for Navia. Yeah. No, the banners after like Navia included were But yeah, nice. Good. Congrats, man. The one Alhaitham with 5 crit rate. Hi. Well, hello. Hey, your Alhaitham still isn't bad. He looks good. Whether he's good or not, he still looks good. So still, a part of him is good. Anyway, I'm sorry guys. I have work in literally 1 minute from now. 1 minute and 17, 16, 15 seconds, 14. So anyway, for anyone who needs help building their characters' accounts, making a decision on which banners to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links in the description of all my videos, VODs, and streams. You can ping me over there, ask for my opinion. My name is Elvis Einstein on Discord. And of course, you can also ask for other people's opinions. Thank you so much guys for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Take care, everybody. Bye, guys. Buki over Raiden, Neuvillette Hyper Bloom, as his on-field is pretty much 10 seconds at C0. Alright, bye everyone. Have fun at work. Sure, I'll try. I'm not gonna have a lot of success, if that's what you're thinking. But hey, I'll try to have fun at work. Said everyone ever.